Succeeding as an independent artist is a delicate balance between marketing and monetizing your work and serving your audience without pushing too much. You want to nurture relationships while growing your fan base at the same time, and you don't want to be too pushy or too salesy. You're also trying to balance doing all the things. As most of us are one-person teams, but some of us are kind of small multi-person teams. Whether you're one or a few, it's still a lot to do. So it makes sense to try to double down on the things that work and that might deliver more than one result for the effort, right? You can kind of kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, or kill multiple birds with one stone, so to speak. Sorry to the birds. The good news is there are multiple avenues where we can both market our music and people can consume what we do, and we can monetize our work kind of all simultaneously. And three of my favorite places to do this are with streaming platforms, selling merchandise, and playing live shows. All three of these things allow us to create relationships, nurture relationships, and monetize those relationships when we turn fans into customers ultimately. They're kind of, all three of them, they're kind of like paid marketing channels. We may not make all of our money back, but we do make some money back. The cool thing is if we lean into all three of these, obviously there's other stuff to do too, right? The list is very long of all the things we have to do as independent artists especially. But if we lean into these three things and keep them top of mind and actually take advantage of them, they will return dividends beyond some of the other stuff that might kind of capture our attention and not pay off quite so much. So first, let's talk about streaming. So streaming platforms, putting your music on streaming platforms is a great way to monetize your work very quickly. We're not going to get into the argument of how much you can monetize your work, how much payouts are. We all know that streaming payouts are extremely low, and it will take a lot of volume, nailed it, to monetize your work to such a degree that you can actually earn a decent income from it. Now, there are loads of independent artists out there today who are making their full-time income off of streaming royalties, but they also do a lot of volume on the platform. They're getting a ton of streams. They got a ton of listeners, anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of average monthly listeners on these platforms, across these platforms every single month. So it does take a lot of work to get there. However, Spotify's 1,000 stream benchmark rule aside, which maybe we'll get to in another video we're not going to talk about here. I foresee the comments getting very spicy on something like that. For every other platform, you can upload your music and immediately start earning at least a fraction of money off of it. I'm sure the argument could be made for some of you that, it's not really worth the effort. Look, streaming is where people discover music nowadays. They discover it on social media. They discover it on streaming platforms. If you're not playing that game, you're not going to get heard as easily, most likely, compared to the other artists who are playing that game. I don't make the rules. I didn't create the game. I'm just telling you how the game is played currently. Spotify alone has some of the best, most robust algorithms in the game to help people discover new music. They have thousands, millions, maybe, I don't know, a ton of data points on every single song where they analyze the waveform. They're looking at genre. They're looking at who's listening to this artist and that artist, and then they'll recommend this artist because of those two artists and their similarity. It's really cool. And people are discovering new music all the time, especially through algorithmic playlists like Radio and Discover Weekly and Release Radar and stuff like that. Getting your music on these platforms is a great way to create new relationships, do a little bit of marketing, and make a little bit of money in return, all at the same time. You're capturing new attention, you're monetizing existing attention. Two birds with one stone. Now, this whole double feature idea of getting paid while also marketing doesn't stop at streaming. Let's talk about artist merch. Now, I think most of us probably, when we hear selling merch, we think we're getting paid. And maybe the fan or customer, listener, whatever word you want to use, they're getting an item in return. But have you ever thought about selling merch as a marketing opportunity? Maybe not. For most of us, probably not. Think about it this way. Your name on a t-shirt is a walking billboard. It is paid advertising. However, the person getting paid is you, not the person wearing the t-shirt. Every single person who sees this individual in your t-shirt, that serves up an impression. In ad land, we call that an impression. When somebody sees your ad creative, your shirt can be thought of as ad creative. If I have a shirt that says Tom DuPree III on it, some cool picture on it that's an attractive shirt that somebody would want to wear, somebody's going to see that shirt, and whether they register it or not, they will have experienced the fact that I exist in the world somewhere if they've never heard of me before. If they have heard of me before, then they are going to see that shirt and be reminded of the fact that I exist. This is a little bitty moving advertisement just floating through the world. I like to think of it as like long tail organic impressions. Hopefully the shirt is cool and has staying power and the person's going to wear it for a long time because it's one of their favorite t-shirts. And so you're serving up impressions through this person or through these people who buy your merch for a long time. Furthermore, if you can get your shirt, your merch, whatever, your sticker, whatever has your name on it, if you can get it in the hands or on the shoulders of an individual who's kind of a tastemaker, this is basically influencer marketing, right? But if you get it on the shoulders of somebody who is a tastemaker, who's like a maven in their circle of friends, it doesn't have to be the Instagram influencer who has 100,000 followers. It can just be somebody you know who has good taste in music, who other people trust. If you can get your merch into that person's hands, their opinion tends to carry an outsized amount of weight with their friend group, with the people who pay attention to them. They're probably more likely to take action or be more curious about the fact that you exist, that they've seen you, they've seen this person wearing your shirt. They're more likely to take action on that than they would be from somebody that they don't know at all. Okay, so we've got our music on streaming platforms. We're selling some merchandise. Let's talk about live shows. In my opinion, live shows are the pinnacle of the music experience. Now, this is coming as somebody who spent his life, my whole profession was playing live shows for over a decade at a very high level. I mean, playing arenas, playing outdoor amphitheaters. I played to audiences up to like 30 or 40,000 people, I think. Like, I've done it a lot. I've stood at the merch table, stood in meet and greet, signed stuff, talked to people, shook hands, all that stuff. Traveled all over the place. Like, I love live shows. Live shows, as far as I'm concerned, are it. The reason live shows are it is because they blend together all of these things in one place. So let's do a little thought exercise. Think about the last concert that you went to that you were looking forward to. Not like some, your friends like, hey, I'm going to catch this band you've never heard of. Do you want to go? And you're like, yeah, sure. Think about somebody you were jazzed to see. What did it look like for you leading up to that? You probably streamed their music, or if you had their music on CD or whatever, vinyl, you listened to their music a lot leading up to the show to get pumped up for it. You're excited. You're looking forward to it. When you get to the show, maybe you stop by the merch table on the way in or on the way out to pick up an exclusive item that's, for this tour, like a tour shirt or something that you can only get at these shows for this tour. So you grab a piece of merch. Maybe you sign up for the email list if you're not already on. And then maybe if you're a super fan, maybe you signed up for a meet and greet. Maybe you want to shake hands with and get autographs from and take pictures with your favorite band or artist. So you get all of these things in one place. And then what do you do when you leave the show? You listen to the music on the way home, don't you? That's what I do. Now, from a fan perspective, this checks all the boxes, right? I get to do all the things. I get to experience all the things. I am pulled into the world of this band or artist that I love. And as a band, as an artist, it gets no better. You're hitting every single data point, we'll call it, that you want to hit. Every one of these three marketing/monetization avenues, you're hitting them. People are listening before and after the show. People are buying merch and signing up for your email list. And people are actually coming and experiencing an in-person event where they can connect with you on a level that is just not possible anywhere else, including live streams. Like, standing shoulder to shoulder with your favorite band and getting your picture taken, having a brief conversation. Like, if you do that, you're a super fan for life. Now, it's not to say that every single artist on the planet should play live shows. In fact, there are a lot of artists who probably shouldn't play live shows because the music either isn't conducive to it, they don't live in a place with the infrastructure, or they just don't want to. I think that if you're on the fence about it, you should consider it because it's a really important aspect of being an artist. But if you are going to play live shows, you have to be able to kill it. This is the big differentiator. It's not enough to be okay live. You got to be great. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this and you want to go deeper with topics just like this every single week, then I hope you'll subscribe to my newsletter, The One Thing. Every Tuesday, I send out one thing that I am thinking about or working on to help you succeed as an independent artist and entrepreneur. So if you do want to subscribe to that, I'll leave a link to do so in the description of this video. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.